Spike Cohen.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to the Vanguard. For Spike, former VP Algoy Cohen, I am Matt Wright, and together we are traversing the muddied waters of freedom.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Muddy Waters Media Productions, all social media platforms, all podcasting platforms, everywhere that you can watch or see things and listen to things, you can do that with us. And wherever you are watching or listening to this thing that you are watching or listening to, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all the stuff, and yeah. Oh, also, remember to become a subscriber to Muddy Waters Media by going to anchor.fm/muddiedwaters/subscribe and becoming a member today. This very second. For only $10 a month, you get access to exclusive weekly Muddied Waters Media members only content. You also get an ad-free listening experience on Anchor and Spotify, and you get a discount at the Muddy Waters Media store, muddywatersmedia.com. Click the old store button and you get to go to the store. But you get to get a discount if you go to anchor.fm/muddywaters/subscribe and sign up today.
First and foremost, allow me to thank Benjamin Daniel Morris Chestnut the 13th for the kava that I am drinking on this week's episodes.
And allow me to thank Costco Davis Chapman III for this Kirkland water that I'm drinking on this episode. That's Costco's full name.
Full of Anaka.
Full of Anaka.
And that brings us to this week's very special Mudwater Mushroom Coffee Replacement Cacao Rapid Fire segment brought to you by Mudwater. Are you...
Yes, Mudwater. Oh, you're doing it?
No, I wasn't.
Who's doing it?
You're doing it.
Okay. Hey, folks. You know what I know what you're thinking? Hey, Spike, Matt, how you doing? I'm sick of coffee. I can't drink it anymore on account of I don't need all that caffeine going through my blood there, and frankly, it tastes too good. I need something that is going to be better for me and taste terrible. Well, folks, we have some great news for you. Mudwater, the most appropriately named sponsor of Muddy Waters Media, unless another company comes up with something called Muddied Waters, in which case we'll probably sue them for infringement. But this Mudwater is made out of masala chai, cacao, mushrooms, turmeric, sea salt, cinnamon, and literally nothing else. That tastes like how you would expect that to. Now, and it does have 1/7 of the caffeine of a cup of coffee, which means that you have just enough to get excited for the day, just enough to get you ready to go, rip-roaring, ready to go, but not so much that you end up with all sorts of health problems, which is what happens if you keep drinking coffee. So, kick the habit, go to muddywatersfreedom.com/mud and sign up and get your kit today, and definitely go buy some honey or sugar or coffee, something to mix with it.
Mix it with coffee.
Well, then it only has 3/7 of the caffeine of a cup of coffee.
So first, on this Mudwater Mushroom Coffee Replacement Cacao Rapid Fire segment, we have a very special, albeit a little late, video announcement.
Hi. We heard it's your birthday. So we wrote you a song. It goes like this. It's your birthday, we make you feel right. We get to groove on and party all night. Cause it's your birthday, you didn't tell us, but we still got together all the fellas. Well, where are all the fellas? You're getting old. Is that a bold spot? Even though you've grown, we think you're still hot. It's your birthday and we make you feel right. We get to groove on and party all night. Cause it's your birthday, you didn't tell us, but we still got together. You're still hot. But that kinda sucked. Yeah, it did. I think we gotta bring out the big guns. It is your birthday today. We're gonna you're a year older, the world seems colder. Where your belly used to be, there's now a giant boulder. You're complaining about your back, soon you'll have a heart attack. Then you cry yourself to sleep cause you have a hanging rack. A walking malfunction filled with decompunction, and you had your first encounter with erectile dysfunction. Now you're dreaming about your birthday, back when it was great. You weren't stuck in this low paper job that you hate. Now with every year that passes, you need even thicker glasses and an extra cup of coffee just to get you off your ass. It's a struggle most days just to kill the morning haze, and you got yourself thinking out kids these days. But here's the thing, mate, yeah, you still look great. The age is in your mind, don't worry about the weight. So put on a party hat, we got a cake and all that. So let's drink ourselves blind and sing. Oh, it's your birthday, make it feel right. We get the groove on, da-da-dee all night. Cause it's your birthday, you didn't tell us, but we still got to get your stuff. Well, it's your birthday, make it feel right. We hit the words, da-da-dee all night. Cause it's your birthday, you didn't tell us, but we still got to get our stuff.
Happy birthday, Spike. You are now officially a middle-aged Jew.
I am now, yes, no, I am. It's finally, after 10 years of faking it, I am now, you got to fake it till you make it, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. And I love you, and I'm not that old. Like, I mean, a lot of the stuff in there was like talking about ED and the bald spot's true. Really, everything in there except the ED part is true, and that's...
You don't have a gut. You don't have a gut, though.
That's true. Yeah, I don't have a boulder and
right.
My
yeah, I found that video by looking up most awkward happy birthday songs, and
no, that was good. That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
That was.
Wouldn't that be funny if that's what gets us the copyright strike?
He said in it. He said, "Use this wherever you want," and I went, "Yes."
Oh, okay, good. All right, perfect. Good. Oh, yes, that's our kind. Those are the kind of clips that we like.
Right.
And speaking of little unsettling, Ghislaine Maxwell was sentenced to 20 years in prison on Tuesday. And breaking news, we have found out exclusive at Muddy Waters Media, a very special guard has been appointed to drive her to her new cell to ensure that absolutely nothing goes wrong. I see a problem.
Hopefully, this new guard can protect Ghislaine from herself. Because we don't want Ghislaine to commit suicide, and she won't
she's been put on suicide watch.
She was. I don't know if she's still on suicide watch after the sentencing, so that's why I removed that. I wasn't sure if she still was.
Okay.
But so we're hoping that the new guard will protect Ghislaine from herself, and she won't be able to kill herself in some just outlandish, inconceivable way. Yeah. Oh man! For those listening on audio, thank you. This.
Oh yeah, we should read this.
Yeah.
Okay, so couple things to explain here. The guard looks suspiciously like a former friend of Jeffrey Epstein. And it's weird because her prison guard outfit just says prison guard. It doesn't even say what prison, which I think there's a few things here to be suspicious.
Yeah, there's a huge red flag.
Yeah, there's a couple of red flags there. And then these are some news articles, clippings. One says, exclusive, family of Bill Clinton advisor who admitted Jeffrey Epstein into White House 7 times has blocked release of files detailing the death scene after he was found hanging from a tree with a shotgun blast at a ranch 30 miles from his home.
And then in one of the bullet points from that article, it says top Clinton advisor Mark Middleton died by suicide. The rest of that sentence really doesn't matter. He was found hanging from a tree with a shotgun blast. Died by suicide.
As one does.
As one does. Because if you're gonna kill yourself, you're gonna fashion up a noose. You're gonna fashion up a noose, which they're not that hard to tie. So, you fashion it up really quickly. And then you're going to find a tree 30 miles from your house to hang yourself in.
And then shoot yourself.
And then you're going to take a shotgun and you're going to bring it with you. And while you're sitting on the branch with the noose around your neck, you're going to...
Yep, you're going to have to reach on out there.
You're going to have to reach and shoot yourself so you'll fall hanging. I like that. So this story, the Mark Middleton story,
yes,
about the guy that we just talked about who hung himself and then shot himself at the same time. That happened like a month ago. I found out about it in like just the most random way. It just kind of, I accidentally stumbled upon it and I was like, wait, what?
Yep.
How was this not more widespread?
Well, I mean,
there.
In DC, killing yourself while shooting yourself with a shotgun while hanging yourself is contagious. And the CDC recommends against certain behaviors that can lead to you getting it, such as talking about the Clintons.
Yes.
So
stay 6 feet away from anybody talking about the Clintons.
Yes.
And wash your fetish gear.
And wash your fetish gear. Oh my gosh, that was wash your fetish gear, everyone. And I thought it was fake. That was a legit.
That was a legit thing.
That was a real thing that really happened. And speaking of legitimate things, Joe Biden went on a weird rant last week saying this.
I don't want to hear any more of these lies about reckless spending. We're changing people's lives. And because of the facts, this year, we're delivering the biggest drop in deficit in the history of the United States of America.
So, before we get into the changing people's lives with the reckless spending, the biggest drop in deficit, I understand what that sounds like to the normies out there. I know that everybody listening to this show or watching this show or taking the show in, however you take this show in, you understand that when he says that, it is a trick. It is not actually, we're not reducing debt. We're just going into slightly less debt faster.
Yes. Yep.
Right. Or we're going into debt slower, I guess would be a better way to put that. Slightly slower.
Correct.
And after coming off of 2020, where we spent a ton of money on stimmies and things like that, massive government spending, where they gave you $1,200 and then gave their friends billions. Following that into 2021, and this year they haven't been passing those. It's understandable that you're not spending as much money this year, but you're still spending more than we have, and you're not paying anything off. So you're actually going in to more debt.
More debt.
Yeah,
more debt.
Let's go over all of the ways reckless spending, because he's tired of the lies, people. He said so. He's tired of the lies. Let's go into all of the ways that reckless spending has improved our lives. Thanks to Mr. Murica for this first one. It pulled all of the future generations' skin into the game. Because instead of burdening just those working now, the government decided to put it on us and for all future generations. And it's really a multi-generational problem reducer.
Yes.
Then you also have the impending or current recession. Technically not in a recession right now, I guess. Technically, but after the next quarter's numbers come out, I don't think there'll be any way that they'll be able to deny we're in a recession.
We're in a recession.
The recession is helping people's lives because as businesses lose money, they learn how to streamline the business, and that will help them figure out which employees to fire, which will help the business move smoother.
Well, and you figure, if you hate where you work, the people you like least are going to be fired. Actually, they'll get promoted.
They'll get promoted.
They'll be the ones put in charge of firing you.
Right.
you'll get fired, so you won't have to see him anymore. So really,
that's a good thing.
That helps you too.
Yeah, and because of the way recessions work, the high unemployment leads to price cuts, making everything cheaper. So in the end, the reckless spending cuts jobs, hurts businesses, hurts families, but everything is cheaper. So technically, when he says he's tired of the lies about reckless spending, we're changing people's lives, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong at all.
He's not wrong.
He's tired because the lie about reckless spending is that it doesn't help. And as we've clearly laid out just now, it's really good for you to be jobless and have no prospects for the future. It really allows you to center. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of people are, they're out there making money, providing for their families. But, somewhere along the way, they lose themselves, right? So in doing this and really kind of resetting things, it allows you to really sit down and find who you are.
Yeah.
And that's why he doesn't want to hear the lies. He's changing your life. Speaking of Kennedy versus Bremerton School District was one of the many Supreme Court cases that have been decided. In this decision, this particular one, in Bremerton School District, a high school football coach, Kennedy, was fired for praying at the 50-yard line after games. The school district disciplined the coach because they thought that it, quote, that anything less could lead a reasonable observer to conclude mistakenly that it endorsed Mr. Kennedy's religious beliefs. So because someone could mistakenly think that they were endorsing his beliefs by not firing him, they fired him.
So the Supreme Court,
they've
had a lot of, this has been one of the wildest Supreme Court sessions in recent memory. But the Supreme Court was asked to decide several issues in this, including whether a public school employee is engaged in government speech that lacks First Amendment protection. So on behalf of the coach, attorney Paul Clement with Kirkland and Ellis in Washington, D.C., said the prayer was brief and quiet. When Coach Kennedy took a knee at midfield after games to say a brief prayer of thanks, his expression was entirely his own. That private religious expression was doubly protected by the free exercise and free speech clauses. He argued that the government does not endorse all private religious speech just because it takes place on the school side of the gates, which is true.
Yes.
Back years ago, they said there will always be prayer in school as long as there are tests, and now they're trying to get away with get rid of tests.
There you go. See, they knew. They knew that was the only thing keeping Christ in the classroom.
That's right. Was the testing. Richard Katsky. That's how you would say that, right? Richard Katsky?
Yeah, and that's like the
weird. That's the most intricate,
hilarious name of spelling it.
Yeah,
that's like a cartoonish way of spelling Katsky.
Yeah,
but yes, Katsky.
Richard Katsky, the legal director for Americans United for Separation of Church and State, said the coach's action pressured students to pray and also divided the coaching staff, sparked vitriol against school officials, and led to the field being stormed and students getting knocked down. I want to know the prayer that did this. The idea that the school district couldn't do something when a zoo was created on the field is unimaginable.
Wow. This prayer must have been lit. So I've seen pictures, and from what I saw, he would go out and kneel at the 50-yard line, and I believe sometimes other people might join him.
Yeah.
That was all I saw.
Yeah, from what I understand is that he never really asked, from this case, there were differing of opinions where the school said they weren't going to fire him. They weren't going to fire him if he didn't kneel. Or if he could go out there and lower his head, but he couldn't kneel. Which is weird because now the other side's firing people for kneeling on football fields. But they said he couldn't kneel, and then he was like, no, like, and he did it for a little while, and he goes, no, that's not what I want to do. I want to kneel, because even though it's not something that you guys are signing on to, it's something I sign on to. And so they were like, no, and then he went out and he kneeled. He went out and he kneeled, and they were like, so they fired him. And they found out that this was the reason they found out this was going on was from an opposing team's coach. The school board had no idea this was going on. And then an opposing team's coach wrote a letter, and he's like, hey, I saw that Coach Kennedy went out and was praying on the 50-yard line. I really admire that, or something along that. Like, he was saying, that's really cool. And that's great. That's how
they're like, what?
How dare he?
He what? And that.
So Justice
that led to that.
So Justice.
This is some irony. This is some ironic statement.
Yes, this is an ironic statement. The highlight is mine. Justice Elena Kagan seems sympathetic to the school district's arguments and discuss scenarios in which students may feel coerced to join the prayer if they think it will make the coach more likely to put them into a football game. She said, and this is the kind of coercion that's improper for 16-year-olds.
This is the kind.
This is the kind.
This is what's dangerous. So this is the kind of core. Now, I liked Mr. Kennedy's attempt to come up with a compromise, which seemed not to catch much traction. But his compromise was that he would only coach 5-year-olds, and that he would put up a sign that says, "This prayer ain't gonna lick itself." In the 6-3 decision, the court wrote, that reasoning was misguided. Both the free exercise and free speech clauses of the First Amendment protect expressions like Mr. Kennedy's, nor does a proper understanding of the amendment's establishment clause require the government to single out private religious speech for special disfavor. Yes. Keep in mind, while you were watching this or listening to this, thank you for doing so, Matt and I are both not religious people. So we are not defending religion or even the well, I guess we are defending the right to expression of religion, but we're not defending religious beliefs. We aren't looking at this from the standpoint of, well, that's what I would do. Like, if I saw someone praying, I would respect that they were doing it, but I likely wouldn't join them in it.
If I saw somebody who was praying of any denomination.
Yeah, of anything.
Of any denomination, I would probably look over, I would notice that it was happening, and I would continue on with my day.
Yes, because it does not affect us. And that the interesting thing about that is, if you use this argument that because this coach was doing a thing, and that therefore the students felt like if they didn't do that thing, they wouldn't get favorable treatment, or that if they did do that thing, they would get favorable treatment, even though he's not even trying to tell them this is the right thing to do, he's just doing it himself. That takes us on a wild journey about what teachers could be doing, or not just teachers, but educational staff could be doing, not doing, or encouraging kids to do or not do through their actions, and what that, as Justice Kagan said, kind of coercion could be improper for them. And it's not kneeling.
Well,
you. We're going to end there. So, what's going to happen on the next episode? Oh, boy, you're not going to believe it. This was the first episode with 2 people with an age starting with 4. What's in the next one? Oh, boy. You're not going to believe it. So tune in tomorrow. We will see you there. It is going to be incredible. Yes, we are going to be talking about gun control and some exciting stuff that happened on that front. Oh, when I say oh boy, I mean oh boy. And we will see you tomorrow night. And where we're going,
we don't need roads.